Presiding Officer, I welcome this debate. In Inverness last Friday night, the Inverness Courier hosted a hustings for the three leadership candidates in the SNP contest. All three gave unequivocal commitments to dualling the A9, including prioritising the funding for it. And that is welcome, but it's also essential because, I'm afraid, to be candid, to be honest, the Scottish Government is in the last chance saloon here. We need to deliver, and any more failure will simply not be forgiven. It's hard to overstate the concern and indeed anger amongst my constituents and people in the Highlands about this issue, particularly in the light, as Mr Halker-Johnson has said, about the tragic death, the loss of so many people, so many families whose lives have been devastated by it. That has really hardened the anger to scepticism that's growing and mounting. So, yes, we have made progress, and I commend the Minister for the effort she has put into it, and indeed her predecessor, who is sitting beside me here. Preparatory work has been done, 2 sections have been upgraded, design work has been done, although not for Dunkeld. But the pledge that was made to dual the road by 2025 just hasn't been kept. And I think in politics, we have to accept the reality sometimes. I do think an apology from the Minister would pave the way for good progress. Just accept we didn't get it right, we got it wrong, but we will put it right. And that is what people want. The pledge, Minister, to publish a timetable by autumn is just far, far too slow. I mean, I've been calling for a timetable for the past 2 years, and it should have been published long ago, and I think that does need to be speeded up considerably. There will shortly be an inquiry into the A9 by the Petitions Committee. This is thanks to Laura Hansler from King Eusie, and it's fitting that it's a citizen of Scotland affected by it in her daily life that has brought forward this petition, and the Petitions Committee has sought to hold an inquiry, which I think is a great possible step forward. So I praise Laura for that initiative. What should the inquiry do? Well, what people want to see is progress, and progress as quickly as possible. And there's 2 key elements required for this. First, the funding that must be put in place, or at least earmarked, and beyond the term of this government. And there is, I think, a will across all the parties represented in this Parliament, except one, the Green Party, who are not actually present at this debate unless there's somebody contributing remotely. But all the other parties are supportive of this. So the funding, I think, can be earmarked, even if it can't be formally allocated, and that must happen. Second, the method of procurement, of procuring the contracts by Transport Scotland must be changed, and changed fundamentally. The present procurement strategy has failed. The Tomatin and Moy tender is proof positive of that. And I do wonder if the Minister is actually confident that a re-tender to be completed, she said, by the end of this year can actually be done in that time. And moreover, if it is, will it not risk resulting in the same thing? And that is a serious risk. I think we should be open and honest about that. I'd be grateful if the Minister could explain that. Now, the kernel is this, and numerous industry sources have told me this, and it will be no surprise to Transport Scotland lead official here this evening, that the method of procurement passes all the risks to the contractor. That's meant that at least one major contractor has simply exited Scotland, and others have limited appetite to bid for roads work because they've been stung in the past, quite frankly. I could give details, but now is perhaps not the time. So how should it be done? Well, a framework contract, sharing the risk, as in England. Removing the tender from the process, which takes about a year, costs £500,000 approx for each company to put in a bid. £500,000. If 4 companies put in a bid, they all do the same work, spending £500,000. What is the point of that? It also wastes a year. Contracts need to be done concurrently, together. And if there's a risk about disruption, then why not do at the same time as the A9, the first stretch of the A96? That would spread, if you like, the disruption across 2 different roads. There's a practical way that has much to commend it. Now, I do understand that there is acceptance amongst Transport Scotland that this needs to be done. I'll draw my remarks to a close, Presiding Officer. But in conclusion, could I urge the Minister that, in my view, and I've been around for quite a while now, the Highlands deserve more. They deserve better. We simply cannot let them down again. We must deliver. We must, as a government, find the funding, and we must deliver the procurement changes which, in my view, are necessary to enable the swiftest possible completion of dualling of the A9.
Thank you very much, Mr.